So here we go for attempt 2 of fixing these tape hair extensions into the hair. So just to quickly run over what I'm going to do again, I am going to section the hair off, leaving a good inch diameter around the hairline, and I'm putting this into a hot cross bun style. So again, I don't really want to mark the hair too much. I'm not going to twist it and clip it up. I'm literally just going to clip the bits I don't want at the moment firmly out the way. So I'm going to leave a good inch out at the bottom and then take a slight sliver more, because that's the section I'm going to use for my hair extension. I'm then going to clip this bit of hair up out the way. I'm going to follow that line across, and I'm going to make sure it's just nice and neat where I clip and pin that hair up also. Okay, so that's a nice neat line into the head. Make sure you can see that nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm working myself a good 2 fingers in from the hairline at all times, around the diameter of the hairline. You can see just how much hair is coming down there. The one thing I probably would do a little bit more is chip some out, but I might go back into that afterwards. So I'm going to take my first tape off, and I'm going to try my preferred way first. I'm going to lie it onto the head, and I'm going to firmly push that in. And then I can see this is already going to work better than what it did in the lesson. We're going to lift the hair up, ensuring that we've got a small amount of hair in it as well. And then I'm just going to clip that piece up and out the way. So we can see that this has got root lift on it, so we know it's going to move really easy in the hair. I'm then just going to take my second tape I'm going to lie it over the head, and then from underneath and looking up underneath, I'm going to sandwich the 2 tapes together. Once I'm quite happy that they're firm, I'm going to bring that tape down. You can see it's just away from the root. We've got a bit of movement. And then I'm just going to use my metal plier to squeeze either side of that bit of tape. So what we really want to ensure is that there's no bits of hair on either end that are going to pull and snag, and that it's nice and firm in the hair. It's not going to fall out like our first attempt. So then I'm going to leave again a finger width in between and do the same on the other side. So this is the start of our brickwork pattern. Making sure we're also leaving enough at the edge, so it's nice and firm and in there. What I'm going to do now is make sure I've got a nice small sliver of hair. Again, I can see that there's a few little bits that I wouldn't want in there that is going to cause hair to snag, so I'm just going to gently pull them away. We want enough hair in the tape that it's going to hold the weight of the tape, but we don't want too much hair in there that it's going to pull down, and again the bonds are not going to set through the thickness of too much hair. The reason why I'm applying mine on top and then sandwiching it underneath is because I like the fact it gives a bit more movement to the root, and quite often when I wore mine I would top knot my hair quite a lot, so I always had the extensions up in that action, as well as straighten them on the occasional days that I wanted my hair to look nice. So again, that's clamped in really nicely, both quite firm and then not going to fall out, like I say, our first attempt. So now I'm just going to work my way up the hair. I'm going to take a good inch to an inch and a half between each section. And then as the head gets wider, we will just be adding in a few more tapes. So it's not quite wide enough on this head like you would see on a human head to really go in straight with 3 now. But what I'm going to do is use my micro tape for my centre section, which is the smaller tape. Excuse me whilst I grab it. So I'm just going to go into the centre section first of all with my micro tape and then work either side. Some people like to work in a direction, right to left, and some people like to work inside out. So again, I've just placed on top. I'm making sure I've got enough hair in there. As you can see, when these are placed on the head, they're a lot smaller. Again, I'll just go over, they're my personal preference. I prefer them in my hair. The movement of them is more natural, because obviously hair moves so freely on its own. When you've got quite a large tape sitting across the head, it's quite a structured sitting, and these ones just have got a bit more durability of the more hair moving at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a larger tape either side of that. I haven't got many micro tapes at home at the moment. Again, I'm leaving a tiny gap in between and making sure I've got my sort of 2-finger gap around the hairline still. So what this is also doing, so it's adding thickness to the hair. This is adding length. We will be cutting some of this off afterwards, so I'm going to show you how to texturise that into the hair, and how to make the natural hair blend with the hair extension. And then this, obviously because of the colour that I'm using, again, because of the fact we're in lockdown, these are the only hair extensions I've got in the house, tape hair extensions. And this is what it just shows, that we can add colour into the hair without actually damaging the hair at all. So it's just another service you can offer your client. Like I was saying, I had a client contact me regarding removing some of the black from her hair and adding silver. Now, as hairdressers, we know how hard that is. How much we're going to put her hair through, and then to think she wants length added as well, from the photo, that you're then going to strip the hair, colour the hair, and then add hair extensions to what is going to be quite damaged hair, when actually you could do it all in one. You could add the length, add the colour, and you know, you could sell it to her by saying, this is not going to damage your hair at all, it's so much healthier. When you've had enough and you want to change it, you can just take them out. Oh, why didn't this happen in the lesson? So, yeah, you can add colour, texture and everything through the hair with the hair extensions as well. So I'm just going to keep working my way up. I'm probably going to put another 2 lines into the hair. Again, working at about an inch distance between each section. I spoke about why I like tape hair extensions and why I think they're really good, because of the cost and everything. What you don't want to do is undersell yourself, and also by underselling, you know, you want people coming to you because if you are a home hairdresser, because you're good, not because you're cheap. So don't ever undersell yourself. Know that, you know, you can achieve a really good business through reputation rather than cheapness. When I started cutting people's hair at home, friends and family, I would charge them a tenner for a cut. And then when, you know, I really did leave the salon and I had 2 children, 2 extra mouths to feed and a mortgage to pay and everything else. So through here, I'm just going to stop that conversation in a second. So we're going to go a little bit extra now compared to what we did on the row below. So we used 2.5, so I'm going to use 3 across this section. Again, I'm going to start in the middle. As you can see here, I'm placing it just slightly lower than the root. I'm going to lift the hair up. I'm going to remove the excess hair that was sticking to it. So we can see it's got the natural hair in it. But yeah, so then I started charging a little bit more. I did put my prices up. You know, a cut and blow dry for £20 to £25 is pretty reasonable when salons in town charge 35 to 45. So, you know, I haven't got the overheads of rent because this is a salon within my house. And again, I'm quite fortunate that I have got the room to do that. But you could honestly get yourself a chair and a mirror and set up in a corner. You can buy mobile basins. You don't have to wash people's hair off in your kitchen sink, and you don't have to have an installed basin like I have. I do have 2 chairs in the salon because I did get very busy working from home. And again, that was just through build up a reputation. Like I say, I didn't go in cheap when I started up my business. I went in at what I thought was a fair price and what people would really want to pay. And yeah, you just got to believe in yourself a bit more. Believe that you are worth that money that you want to charge. And like I say, with these hair extensions, from where I purchased mine, a pack of hair extensions cost me, again depending on the length, but on average say £35 a pack, and 2 packs will cover a full head. So that pack has cost me £70 to supply, and then I charge the same again for me to fit them. I did start off by adding in the shampoo and the conditioner for the client to use with that as a promotional thing. But then as soon as I was busy enough, I stopped. And like I say, if you can charge £140 for an hour's work and do that twice a day, you know, £280 for a day's work for a couple of hours is very successful. And you know, you need to work it around your children, around your lifestyle. Do you really want to work every day? Is it feasible for you to work every day when you're running a house, looking after your kids and everything else? You know, we need to think about all aspects of our life when we're thinking about work, don't we? You know, anything that makes our lives easier doesn't then impact on our partners, our children, and things like that. So they're the first 3 rows installed, and now you can see how the hair is sitting in with the other hair, and it's starting to, it's just moving really softly. There's no lumps and bumps, they're all laid really flat to the head. I'm just going to add one more row. So I'm just going to show you through here how we would keep this away from the crown area. So I'm just going to work it down in a horseshoe section and pin that up out the way. So as the head shape changes, so does the way that you apply your hair extensions. So through this top section, I'm going to put one here and one here. So what we've kind of done for this client today is not only have we added length and thickness to her hair, which everyone just thinks, you know, you get a bride occasionally come to you and they bring you a picture of somebody off of Pinterest or out of a magazine, and you feasibly know that they have not got enough hair to achieve that at all. So you could also sell them having hair extensions applied to add length, add thickness, and give them the style that they want. Obviously, if they were having quite a high hair up, you wouldn't want to place them as high as this. But again, this is, you know, for the money, your client is adding colour, length and thickness for between 140 and £200. These hair extensions, because of the length of them, do cost more money. I'll probably pay about £45 a pack for these ones, so I charge more money. But generally, whatever I pay for that pack of hair, I then double it. So if this has cost me £90, I'll charge £90 again to fit them. So that's that top section applied. I'm just going to bring the hair back over it. Okay, so now we've done that top section, I'm going to move into the side section. So I'm just going to let that down. From now, I've only got one large tape left and the rest are all micro tapes. So I'm going to comb down the hair and I'm just going to take out sort of that bottom inch that goes over the ear. And that bit of hair, that's going to cover up all the extensions through there. So I'm going to take out a little bit more here. So all this hair that is left there is what we want to cover any extensions. So from there I'm just going to take another small sliver across, and that's what I'm going to fix my hair extension onto. So as the hair's falling in there, I'm just going to use my last large tape, because that one tape is going to sit really nicely over that section. So I'm just going to apply it nice and close to the roots, but not too close, so that there's a little gap in there. And I'm going to lift the hair up, and then any excess hair that we don't want, we're just going to remove that away. But again, we just want to ensure that we've got enough hair in there for the tape to hold on to. I'm just going to remove second tape. So I'm going to lay the hair up and over, and I'm just going to marry the two tapes together and bring that section down. And then I'm going to get my pliers, and I'm just going to make sure all those bonds are really nicely and firmly squeezed together. This doesn't cause any discomfort to your client, so please don't worry about that. So from here we can see that's where the last tape went in at that high section. So I'm just again going to follow the shape of the head up, and I'm going to work off that line there. So here I'm just going to apply my 2 micro tapes. So across this section, oh, and just knock that one out. I'm just going to apply, because again we're working in that brickwork fashion, 3 micro tapes along the hair. So slightly more than what 1 tape would be by using the 3. So you can see that there's a nice little gap in between each one, and these are nice and firm onto the hair. Again, I've lifted that tape hair extension up and make sure I've got enough hair in there, but not too much that it's going to pull the hair out. And then I'm just going to unstick that one, and again marry them together. So I'm just going to press those together. I'm going to bring the hair down. And then just go in and bring that tape together. So I can get right up to that root area because I haven't put it directly onto the root. And again, it gives it a bit more movement. same again with this next tape. Removing too much hair that we don't want, but keeping enough hair in there that we do. And then we're just going to fit another tape onto that section. I'm going to use my plier again. I'm just going to make sure that that's sitting really nice and firm into the hair. So this is my preferred tape method, and I've explained why. But I think you can even see how these three tapes are sitting in the hair. The movement of that already is just really nice, it's really soft and it flows lovely. So my fear is now I'm going to run out of extensions. So if I do, I might have to use, I've got those solid blonde ones that I showed you in the lesson. I might just have to finish it off with a bit of solid blonde. So let's see how far we can take it. So we've got that row fixed in nice and firmly. Just going to finish that off there. And then, because this section here is what sits in at the crown, we don't want to take anything more out of this section, because generally the crown would fall around there, so we need this to be weighty enough over here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to work off of that angle of where the crown is and just follow it up a little bit higher. So again, we're just going to put another couple of tapes in here. We don't want to take it then any closer to the parting, because as that root sits, it's about an inch away. So that's as close as you want to go. You don't want to go any closer than that, because you will start to see the tapes falling through the hair. So you're kind of working in this horseshoe motion through the sides and back, bringing that together, and then everything else underneath is just going in a horizontal line. So I think this is going to finish off my hair extensions. So again, I'm just going to place it about an inch away from that front section, making sure it's not too close into the hair. Just going to lift that up, bring in the hair that we want to attach with that. This one doesn't want to play ball, so I'm just going to fix it underneath. Pulling the small amount of hair over the top. Again, this is a different way to fix them, but it's not my preferred way. I suggest when you have a go at doing yours, you try both, but again, you'll find what works for you. A bit like with the perming techniques that I showed you yesterday, it's worth looking at every option, because, you know, let's face it, we all know that there's a few different example ways of how to do a one lace cut, to how to do a layered cut, how to do an ombre colour and things like that. So this is just showing you the underneath method again. I'm taking that small sliver of hair lifting it up. Now obviously I've sort of said in the lesson earlier that buying 2 packs of hair extensions will do you a full head. If somebody wants loads and loads and loads crammed in and they've got enough hair to handle it, you could always put in 3 packs. There's nothing to say that you have to only use 2. You could in fact use 3. Some people haven't got big enough heads or thick enough hair to warrant 3 packs going in. So you would only, I mean 9 times out of 10, 2 is plenty. But if you have got somebody that really wants to go really, really long, really, really thick, you can do 3. So like I said, it generally takes about an hour to apply this form of full head extension. If you were just adding thickness, half an hour. But it is all about getting the technique right, making them sit in the hair right, making sure you're covering all hair extensions, and working it like that. This is actually blending really well. I knew there was going to be a bit too much of a solid line underneath, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of that after. And I'm just going to see how many more we can apply to finish off this side. Okay, so I have found myself a few more hair extensions and I've just quickly retaped them, ready to finish off this side of the head. So this is our last section that we're doing. Again, I'm going to work my way sort of an inch around the hairline and then above the ear. So through here, again, we kind of want to follow the last extension put in when we're working upwards. So I'm just going to take a slight sliver out this section, and this is where our first extension is going to lie. Exactly like I did on the other side, I'm following the curvature of the head, working my way around in rings now, following that. So this is the last one here being placed in, so the one is going to go here, so it follows it down and around. I'm going to go in with a full tape hair extension. Again, I'm going to try my preferred method, placing it on just below the roots, lifting the hair up. If you put it too close to the root, then it's going to be quite tight for the person for the first few days. Obviously, the closer you get it to the root, the less it's going to grow down. But you know, we want to ensure that comfort is there for the client as well as durability. And just again sandwiching that one together, bringing it down. This one's slightly lighter than the other ones that I've used, I think. And I'm just going to clamp that in there. Now I'm going to lay down my next section, again following the shape of the head, around about an inch or so between each section, as I've done the whole way around. So this is not coming straight horizontal across on the head. We're working our way down the curvature of the head. In this section I'm going to use a whole tape here because I feel like there's a little bit of a gap, and then possibly 2 micro tapes here. So if you feel like there is a bit of a gap in the hair that needs filling, then you definitely need to follow that. These tape hair extensions are actually the ones that I used in my hair when I had them done. I did apply them myself. I wouldn't generally recommend that, but I had an ombre hair at the time, and these are ombre hair extensions. So not only can you get the woven colour technique to the solid colour to fashion pop colours, you can also get that ombre look as well. So even if you wanted to just add that ash platinum colour to the ends of somebody's hair, but you know their hair won't take it, you could recommend extensions also. So I'm just going to use a small micro tape here, leaving a slight gap in between. I'm just checking that section. This is probably as far as I'm going to go actually on this section. So I'll lift that hair away. Again, the sun doesn't want to go in that fashion. So I'm just going to pick up a small section. That's a little bit longer than I need. Just going to place the hair underneath and bring the hair down to secure it. And then sandwich that one on top. So you can see my desperation now in the change of the colours of the micro tapes and the tapes that I'm putting in. But again, you know, I'm working from home in this isolation period, and I'm kind of just using the resources that I've got. So this one, we're taking it down to where that last tape finishes, keeping enough hair that it's going to get everything covered, and we're just going to fill in this line here and make sure that this front section, this inch around the front, is enough that it can cover any extensions that are put in. So I'm just going to place a micro tape here. Again, we'll see if this method works. If not, I'll use. So keeping the hair falling naturally and placing it as the hair falls naturally is again going to add a lot more comfort for your client. I'm just going to add one in towards that end section, and then I'm going to get a tape in between the two. So as you can see with the texture of the woven tapes and micro tapes, the colour goes all the way to the root, and this is obviously so you don't see any heavy bands in the hair from having the tapes in. If you buy really cheap tapes, you don't get that luxury. So be very, very careful about what tapes you are buying and where you're buying them from. And then the ombre tapes are dark at the root. I'll just grab one and show you. Okay. So just through there, you can see it's dark at the root and the colour follows. So if you brought a solid colour, like a whole blonde strip, you could you'll find that they're fair and blonde at the top. If you're buying a full dark strip, you'll find that they're solid brown, a bit like these ombre ones are. So you just need to make sure that they really, really match your client's hair, because if you are using the more solid colours, you want to make sure that you're not going to see those bands and lines through the hair. I'm just going to quickly, I've just taped this last hair extension to fit in. So I've just opened it up and retaped it. So keeping it away from the bond, placing the hair extension in and straightening that hair extension. The other thing I will find and send you all is a guide, a length guide. You're always going to find that 16-inch generally, once it's placed in the hair, and then how it drops down, you're going to find between 14 and 16 inches will probably hit around about the brow line. I personally think that's long enough. Anything more than that, going up 18, 20, it's just, it is really heavy for the roots of the hair to take. I wouldn't particularly suggest it for many clients. And you tend to find that once you've, that extra hair that they've paid for, once they've had it added in, they generally cut it anyway. So, you can always suggest that they pay a little bit more for that little bit extra length, and then you cut it off afterwards so that they can decide. But like I say, generally I advise my clients to always go for that 14 to 16 look. So just going in with my straighteners, these are GHDs, so they do get really hot. Obviously keeping it away from any bonds in the hair. Most hair that gets delivered is straight, but if you want to give it an extra little straighten before you start, then absolutely do. You don't, like I say, want to go in with excessive heat, and the heat that you're adding, you need to know that, that one's just come away. You need to know that you need to replace that moisture in the hair. Right, so that's the hair extensions added in. So now what I want to do is I want to blend this. So you can still see that there's sort of like a slightly heavy line of where this back hair is sitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get all the hair extensions and shake that heavy line out. I'm just going to use a crocodile clip rather than anything else. I'm going to make sure that I pin this on the top of the head. So it's not going to grab any bonds that are setting in the hair. Now through this section, I am going to use my thinning scissors, and I'm going to scissor over comb with my thin scissors this section. This is probably the worst bit for the client because the fact most people have extensions is they hate the fact either their hair's too short or too thin. But we cannot apply extensions and make them look really good in the hair without taking weight lines out. Still think there's a little bit more to do through there, but you know, I think you just need to reassure your client on these areas that when the hair extension's in, you know, we're only taking the weight out, we're not taking the length. So their hair is going to grow a good 1.5 inches over those 12 weeks of whilst those hair extensions are in. So I've just taken that bulk line out the bottom. The next step of what I'm going to do is just blend those layers a little bit more. So again, these ends are very wispy. Just going to bring it away so you can see the full length. But again, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to blunt cut this because that would be ridiculous because it's going to make it look too solid. So I'm going to point cut all these ends and bring that to a better length. The next thing I'm going to do is just work my scissors down like I showed you on the asymmetric cuts. I've taken a horizontal section. You can see where my top natural layer finishes, so I'm just going to angle my scissors in and I'm just going to chew them down the hair. So this is creating a layer through that hair. Again, you need serrated scissors for this. You do not want to use unserrated scissors because all you're going to do is snag the hair and cause damage. So I'm literally just going to follow this down. This for me is a really big point of hair extensions. I live in quite a populated area of RAF citizens, and we tend to get a lot of RAF wives that come in and that they've learnt hair extensions or, you know, different traits like that, and they advertise them from home, hair extensions, which is absolutely fine, as I did, but they're not actually qualified in hairdressing. Now, I've had a few clients that have come to me that have had hair extensions applied to their head, and the person who's applied them has ended up with something very similar to this, where there's just a few too many weight lines left in the hair. They can't do anything about it, and it doesn't blend well enough. So they end up then coming to me, and I then have to charge them for my services of cutting that into the hair. So it's cost them even more money still. So, I mean, anybody that's thinking of A, getting hair extensions, or B, offering hair extensions, in my opinion, should have a qualification in hairdressing. Because you can't give that full service if you haven't got the qualification. So what I'm going to do on this side is I want to just take all this kind of weight line out here and soften it into the face. So just going to show you from the front. I've got a slightly heavy section through the front of this hairline. I'm just going to chip a bit of this out. And then from there, exactly as I've done through the rest of the hair, I'm just going to chew my scissors through the hair to give a nice graduation from the front into the back. And you're going to see a slight bit more separation between mine because of the colour, but hopefully if I chip through it enough, it will blend really well. Cool, that's looking great. So you can see the difference between this side and this side because I haven't done anything to it. So I'm just going to quickly blend this side through. I do have a few clients that get very panicked by the fact I'm cutting their very new, wonderful, long, thick hair, but once they see the difference of me cutting that hair in and bringing it together, they're generally very happy. So because this is all straight and very solid, what I'm just going to do now is grab my straighteners again, and I'm going to pick it up and just soften it all through. Obviously, this doesn't have the natural flow of hair because it's a block, but you can get the general idea of how it's sitting in the hair, how the hair's covering it, the application that we've used, the method, and then how to bring the extension into the cut. So it's just really using your scissors very lightly. You don't want to put any club cutting in there at all because that is not going to do you any favours when you're trying to get those lines out of the hair. I've just got one section that's bugging me, and that's, I can just see a heavy line here. So I'm just going to go through that heavy line and break it with my thin scissor, and it's pretty much gone. Maybe there's a tiny bit still just there. So I'm just going to twist that and take that away. And by twisting it, like I showed you on the asymmetric cut, it doesn't leave any solid lines through the hair. So I'm just going to quickly do that again through these back sections by just twisting and cutting. Just to disperse that in. Obviously you can see these back sections a little bit heavier because of the colour difference as well, because it's so brown. Obviously if I had the brown hair extensions at home, I would have used them rather than the textured colour. But I think what it also adds, just going to take a bit more on that length off, I think, to make it a bit nicer. But it kind of just shows you that you can add colour as well as length and thickness. Again, as I'm working my way around, I'm completely point cutting all of these sections. I'm not blunt cutting anything into the hair. But I just think that's going to be a better length to bring the rest in with that. Right, so I'm quite happy with how that's all sitting. The thickness of our hair is doubled, and you can just see that through the back. So this is kind of seamless. It's all really flat. There's no bumps or ridges in the hair like you get from the nano rings. So it lies really flat to the head. I've applied that I would say in quite good time. And then also I'm going to add in now, like I spoke to you before with the is the oil. You know, I've used a good bit of straightening on there. So what you want to suggest to your clients is loads of argan oil, loads of heat defence before they are using any heat to the hair, whether that's hair dryer or hair straightener. And then you want to suggest as well that, you know, that they're using the right shampoos, and when they're going to bed at night they're using a nice loose band, even plaiting the hair together. I used to sleep with a plait to one side, so I would bring my hair over and plait it, because I always lie on one side, and then it was never in my way. When I woke up every morning it was like I had a beach wave to my hair, which was actually quite nice. Some days I left it, like I say, some days I could tie it up in a knot bun, and that is done by obviously tipping the head upside down. But because all this, we've lifted the hair and put the hair extensions in, when the hair is tied up there's no exposure at all through there. So that's it. That is the application of tapes and micro tapes, as good as we're getting at home at the moment. But any more information you want on that, please message me, because I'm more than happy to help and answer any questions. But yeah, really happy.